Having different systems for managing time tracking and your projects is weighing your agency down. There's just so much that you can do once you track all the data points in one single place. Teams that use Notion typically have to venture out and find a different tool for time tracking. But today we'll go through a method by which you can do time tracking within Notion without any plugins and use it to do far more than just reporting it back to clients. Hi, my name is Prashant. I'm Notion certified admin and consultant. And in the next few minutes, we'll go over how can you ensure that your workspace has a very simple and automated way of tracking time per task. And then you can club it to your projects and you can club it to show various different views that is useful for your agency. So let's start. Okay, so here I am on a Notion page which should host a task database. So you may have this for your agency already, a central repository for where you manage all your tasks, assign it to people, and then see if those are completed or not. I'll start off from scratch by creating a small database which does that. You may have this already, so you may not need to recreate one. You can use the same thing from the point of its build. So let's say I name it task database. Now it'll have task name. Yeah. Now there could be a host of other properties, but we'll sort of keep it simple and say you have a task name, and then you need to add a fresh set of properties to ensure that this entire system works for you. So let's say I name this task as task 1. I name this as Cron running system. And yeah, so I have these two tasks and I would like to create a system for managing time tracking of this. Now, the first thing that we will do here is create a couple of buttons. Buttons are the easiest way to do automation in Notion. So we'll use this button. Now, once we have this button, I'll rename it to start time. And then I'll create another button and I'll rename it to end time. And we'll edit the automations within them later, but we'll just set up all the fields that we need. The next one we'll set up is a date field, and I'll name it as start recorded time rather. And then we'll create another date field called as recorded end time. In fact, we'll name it recorded start time. So we have start date, start time, we have end time, we have recorded start time and recorded end time. And then we'll create a field which is a number field called as billable hours. So yeah, we have all the fields that we want here ideally. And now we'll create the automations in these two fields to ensure that everything is set up in the right way. So I'll go to this start time automation, and when button is clicked, new action is going to be add, or rather edit property, which is going to be recorded start time, and we will select time triggered. So recorded start time becomes time triggered. That's what the automation is. When you click on the button, it will simply record the time at which this button was clicked in the recorded start time field. Click on save. So if you test this start time, and you can see date as well as the time at which this is clicked has been recorded. Now the second one, which is end time, is slightly more elaborate, because what we want this to do is we want this to, of course, put an end time here, but what we also want is to calculate billable hours. This is the difference between the two. Now I can simply make it, when you click on this, the difference between, or the billable hours is this minus this, but that will not work in practical scenarios because you don't do a task in one go at most times. You would, record 1 hour now, and then you'll come back in the evening, you'll record another hour, and you'll sort of batch work it. And the system has to be smooth enough that you can divide it into time, and it should capture that, you again came and worked on this task, and it adds the hours that you have spent over the piece of whatever time duration that you worked on that task. So the start time is pretty straightforward, but for end time, what we do is we go to edit automation, and then we say edit property, and we go directly to billable hours. and we put a custom formula. Now the formula here is going to be that you will first get to the billable hours. So what I'll do is I'll select this page, dot billable hours, and then what we'll do is do a plus. So we know that this time plus the billable hours. So whatever is already recorded, you augment on top of it. So this page dot billable hours. Now here we say, now instead of just doing a direct subtraction of dates, which we can't do in Notion, use the formula called date between, and we say now, which is the current time, minus this page dot recorded start time. So whatever was the start time recorded, you divide or subtract the current time from it, and the difference between the two becomes the time that we want to see. So sorry, I've put in this. So now, comma, this time recorded time, and then we'll do a comma and then select minutes, because you may have it in minutes, and then you can see that the formula is now ready, and I'll click a save, and then I'll save again. Now what this does is it will directly feed billable hours here, and what I'm going to also make this do is edit property and recorded end time, and I will put it time triggered. Like we did for start time, you also want that the last time you ended a task, or the timestamp of the last time that you recorded working on this task should also be captured, so that you have it as a reference. Click on save. So now when I click on end time, it should do two things. It should first record the current time here, and then it should update the billable hours as the time of, or rather the minutes of difference between start time and the recorded time. So yeah, you can see this has captured 3 here. Now 3 are minutes, because this is 5.27 to 5.30, so it's recording billable hours as 3. We'll now go ahead and do the second layer of automation editing or formula editing to ensure that this is hours, not minutes. So now here we have minutes. What we'll simply do is we will put a formula to capture now whatever outcome this is, divide by 60, which will give us hours, and we'll also round that up by, we'll go here and round it up by 1, so that the decimal point is also captured. Now if I go here, I'll clear this, and let's say just testing it out, let's say we already had recorded 1 hour earlier, and now I come here and I press on end time. You can see that it added 0.1 hour here, because it captured 4 minutes. 4 minutes is less than 6 minutes, so it's less than 10%, and it's sort of rounded up to 1.1, which is going to be 4 or 5 minutes. So it sort of rounded up the 4 minutes time difference to 6 minutes and gave us 1.1. And in this way, it will keep adding whenever we sort of do this. So let's say, just for reference, we put it this as 2:27, and now if I click on end time, it updated the time here 5:32, and it calculated that there is a larger time difference. The number of hours is 3 point something, so it added to the last 1.1 3.1 hours, and it got updated. So it's augmenting from the current recorded hours. It's adding the extra time that you're working on it. So every time you do start and end, it will keep updating the data till the time you are working on the task. And that's it. We have set up a way to do time tracking in Notion, where you have all the fields ready. You do click on buttons and your billable hours get populated directly. If you would like to continue building and enhance your Notion workspaces, then I have a free gift for you. I've put together a sequence of 5 short videos which help you understand how we consultants use different Notion methods to enhance the workspaces, look more professional and more structured. short 2-minute videos which will really impact how your Notion workspace is visually viewed. So grab a free copy from the description link, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.